Hello, today I'm going to be talking about the theory of crowd psychology. What is crowd psychology? Crowd psychology is theories for explaining the ways in which the psychology of a crowd differs from and interacts with that of the individuals within it. I decided to do this theory because it has a good connection with pop culture. We can see crowd psychology a lot online nowadays. For example, you could see this in the comment sections of a YouTube video you like, or in the chat of one of your favorite live streams. The internet is basically just one mob of people mobbing around what is popular at the moment. You can see a lot of crowd psychology just in the comment sections on the internet today. A few main perspectives of popular, famous people in the space is the Gustave Le Bon theory, the individuation theory, the convergence theory, and the emergent norm theory. The Gustave Le Bon theory is basically the man believed that crowds existed in three separate stages. Those stages were submergence, contagion, and suggestion. In the submergence stage, the individuals lose their sense of self and personal responsibility. In contagion, the individuals in the crowd unquestioningly follow the ideas and emotions of the crowd. And in the suggestion stage, the ideas and emotions of the crowd are primarily drawn from a shared racial unconscious. That was just the Gustave Le Bon theory. The next theory is the de-individuation theory. This argues that in typical crowd situations, factors such as anonymity, group unity, and arousal can weaken personal controls. This lack of restraint increases individual sensitivity to the environment and lessens rational forethought, which can lead to antisocial behavior. You can see this in comment sections with people saying that they would not normally say by themselves. They'll just say whatever the crowd is saying and not think before they post the comment. The next theory is the convergence theory. This holds that crowd behavior is not a product of the crowd, but rather the crowd is a product of the coming together of like-minded individuals. This is similar because in comment sections because similar people usually watch the same videos, so they're like-minded and tend to have the same ideas and would comment the same things. A famous quote about this theory is, an individual in a crowd behave just as he would behave alone, only more so. Spoken by Floyd Allport. The next theory the next and last theory I'm going to be talking about is the emergent norm theory. This theory puts forth the idea that norms emerge from within the crowd. Emergent norm theory states that the crowd may have little unity at their outset, but during a period of milling about, key members suggest appropriate actions and following members fall in line. You can see this online when one person, one important critic or person posts a comment, and then everybody else just goes along with what that person said because they're important. They are a big person in the space. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is the history of crowd psychology and where it came from and how it evolved into what it is today. It started in 1841 when the first literature came about on crowds and crowds behavior. The first publication was Charles Mackey's book of Extraordinary Popular Delusions and the Madness of Crowds. The psychological study of crowd phenomenon was documented decades prior to 1900 in European culture, and the abstract concept of the crowd grew as a new phenomenon simultaneously in Paris, France, and Milan, the largest cities in the Kingdom of Italy. Over time, this has really evolved. There's still crowds today, but there's also involved into the comment sections and like Twitter and people online, just basically making a crowd, but not in person, but online. That's it for crowd psychology.
And I just like the way it's